Hello, everyone, and once again, welcome back to your digital classroom. And I hope all of you are enjoying sound health and mood. So, what do we have today? Today, we are going to discuss Chapter 6, The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson from your book Footprints Without Feet. And I am your teacher, Kumarjeet Sarkar. So, let us begin. First, let us take a look at the chapter overview. The story, The Making of a Scientist, is about the great scientist Richard H. Abright. He had a habit of collecting butterflies, rock fossils, and coins since he was a kid. He started scientific research on the study of butterflies. His curiosity and a will to win for the right reasons made him successful. Now, let us take a look at the characters. The characters are Richard H. Abright. He is a brilliant scientist. He achieved his aim with determination and perseverance. He is noted for his work on cell and reading of DNA. Richard's mother. She is an encouraging mother who was his true companion. She encouraged his interest in learning and supported Richard in every way. Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart. He is a prominent scientist. He did his research on monarch butterflies. He provided valuable guidance to Richard in every way. Richard A. Waihaha. He is Richard's social studies teacher. He helped Richard to become a good debater and a public speaker. He praised Richard for his hard work. Students, now let us summarize the chapter. Richard's success at young age. The article of Richard H. Abright and his friend was published in the scientific journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. He was only 22 years old at that time. It was the first time that the research of college students was published. It was a rare honor for Richard. Richard's childhood. Richard was the only child of his parents. They lived in Pennsylvania, USA. As there was no scope for playing football or baseball, so he developed the habit of collecting things such as rocks, fossils, and coins. He also took interest in the science of astronomy and also loved to gaze at the stars all night. Richard's mother, his true companion. Richard lost his father when he was in third grade, so his mother was his only companion. His mother encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips and bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials, and many other equipments. She also supported him in his hobbies. She also invited his friends to play with him. She helped him in learning at young age and he earned top grades in his school. Richard reads The Travels of Monarch X book. Richard was deeply interested in butterflies since his early childhood. When he was in the second grade, he had collected 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. His interest would have ended, but his mother gifted him the book The Travels of Monarch X. This book described the migrating patterns of monarch butterflies to Central America. It opened up a new world of science for Richard. Tagging of butterflies for research. At the end of the book, Richard found an invitation for studying the migration of butterflies. Readers were told to tag butterflies for research of Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of University of Toronto, Canada. Soon, Richard started tagging monarch butterflies. The butterfly collecting season in his area lasted for 6 weeks in late summer. It was difficult to chase them one by one, so Richard took a decision to raise a stock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch and take her eggs. He studied their development from egg to caterpillar to pupa and to adult butterfly. Then he would tag their wings and free them. He raised thousands of butterflies in the basement of his home. However, soon he started losing interest in butterflies. Richard's entry in the County Science Fair. Richard was in 7th grade when he realized what true science is. He displayed his slides of frogs at the county science fair but did not win any award. He realized the winners in the fair had tried to do real experiments. He decided that next year he would also do a real experiment. Richard's 8th grade project. For his next project, he wrote to Dr. Urquhart for ideas and received many suggestions. Soon, Richard achieved his first success. In Richard's 8th grade project, he had tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills monarch caterpillars. Richard thought that the disease might be carried by a beetle. He tried raising caterpillars in presence of beetles, but he failed. However, he won a prize in the county fair. Richard's next project on Viceroy butterflies. Richard's next project was testing the theory that Viceroy butterflies copy monarch butterflies. Viceroy butterflies do so to protect themselves from birds, as birds don't like to eat monarch while they like to eat viceroys. He also found that a bird, starling, would only eat monarch butterflies and not ordinary bird food. This project was placed third in the zoology division and third in overall county science fair. Richard's discovery of a hormone. In his second year of high school, Richard discovered an unknown hormone which also led to his new theory on the life of cells. By this project, his purpose was to know the reason behind the 12 tiny gold spots on monarch's pupa. Richard, along with another science student, built a device which showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won Richard first place in county science fair. He also got entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There, he won third place for zoology and also got a chance to work at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research during summer. Richard continues his research. When Richard was in high school junior, he continued his advanced research on the monarch's pupa. Later, in the senior year, he grew cells from monarch's wings in a culture. He showed that the cells would develop into normal butterfly wing scales only when they were fed by the hormones produced by the gold spots. Richard's study of cell and DNA. Richard joined Harvard University after summer. In his junior years, he got the idea of his new theory about cell life while looking at X-ray photos of chemical structure of a hormone. He believed that his study would tell how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. Richard and his college roommate, James R. Wong, worked all night constructing the plastic models of molecules. Later, they together wrote a paper explaining their theory. Highest honors in Harvard. Richard graduated with second position in a class of 1,510 students. He became a graduate student researcher. He started experimenting to prove his new theory. His theory may create new ways to prevent some types of cancer and other diseases. Richard, an all-rounder. Richard was not just a scientist. He was an all-rounder. He was a champion debater and a public speaker. He was also a good canoeist and an outdoor person. He was also a great photographer. In his high school, he was a part of the debating and the Model United Nations clubs. There, he found Richard A. Waihaha, his social studies professor, whom he admired a lot. Richard, a true scientist. Mr. Waihaha praised Richard for his hard work. He also praised Richard's healthy competitiveness, which was just for the sake of doing his best. Richard had all the qualities that made him a true scientist. He had a first-rate mind, curiosity, and a will to win for all the right reasons. Students, now let us take a look at some of the word meanings. On page number 32, we have the word journal, which means a newspaper or magazine that deals with a particular subject. There's this phrase, making the big leagues, which means becoming of a part of a successful or important group. On page 33, variegated, it means having patches, stripes, or marks of different colors. Crescent, it means a shape that is curved, wide at its center, and pointed at its two ends, like a crescent moon. On page 35, there's the word stack, which means large number. Starling, a dark brown or black bird that is common in Europe and US. Zoology, the branch of science that involves the study of animals and animal behavior. On page 36, ornamental, it means showy, decorative. Entomology, it's a branch of science that deals with the study of insects. Culture, it means the growing of cells in a specially prepared nutrient medium. Eureka, a cry of joy when one discovers something. Hormone, it means a natural substance that is produced in the body that influences growth and development. Now, what lesson do we learn from this chapter? Failures are steps towards success, and determination and perseverance guide one towards the aim. So, students, that's all from this chapter, The Making of a Scientist. I hope you all have understood the chapter well as enjoyed it. So, until next time, I wish you all happy learning. Take good care of yourselves. Bye bye.